Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, guys. Let me make sure this thing is recording. I've had a mere. Let us get it right. Yeah, we are good. So this is your man Kegus. You know, yesterday I had to apologize. You know, it wasn't something. I was uploading the video. Accidentally, I pressed the delete button. I don't know why. So, how are we doing? How are we doing? Let's check the time. Yeah, it's just past 2 o'clock. Just done my run. Yeah. So I'm full of energy. Let it all rub off on this one. And we get going. Page 33, guys. Jump in there. Page 33. Page 33. Where are we at? Where are we at? Okay. That's it. We're doing page 33. So we're gonna have the same old conversation, you know. Drink some water. Drink some water. Okay, miss. Thank you. Hello, doggy. Off for the walk. Yeah. So sorry about that. It's just one of those things, you know. It comes with the territory, you know. So how are you doing? How are you doing, folks? To bring you up to speed, the book is flying off the shelves. Those in Uganda, I've shared the details. Victor gave me that consent to disclose Watman's details, the number you can contact him in Kampala. Those in the diaspora, go online. I'm not going to like feel sorry for you guys. You guys know what to do. Just click away, you know, put in your Visa card, and you get the book. And I've had a special inquiry, which I've liaised with Victor. And those who want signed copies, that would be probably a special request. Signature, I mean autographed, whatever whatever signing, book signing and all that. So you have his signature there. That would be probably a collector's edition. Touch base with Victor, inbox him, and he'll take care of that. You know, there's nothing difficult in asking. So the poem is on page 33. Those who are with me, you know, we are good. You know the poem. The title is COVID QUAGMIRE. So today is the 17th March 2022. So those familiar with the timeline, you would know pretty much we're just out of the lockdown. So and that's what the conversation is going to be about. So we are going. I'll read the poem, and we get going. That's what everybody wants to hear. Me talking about stuff. No. These are things you would even yourselves know but to do. Hello, doggy. Very nice. Yeah, right. So, page 33. That will bring us next to the cry of Alifunse. I've read this poem previously, but not in this way. So it wasn't like this. So I think we're good now. Let's get rolling. Students return to the reopened schools to resume their disrupted studies, with struggling parents made to pay fees for the new school term and semester. A month later, inept authorities shut them down, with a fresh outbreak of COVID-19 spreading like an uncontrollable bushfire. So during the time during the time of COVID, there was a lot of uncertainty. So many things were just not like they should be, you know. Back in my day, regular term time, school time, holiday time, things were just like that. Never had we seen this kind of disruption, you know. So we are getting there. Let's get to the next stanza. Worn out parents pick up their children admitted in school health care units, infected with the outrageous virus and return home spreading it further. Hospitals at full capacity, turning away new patients while oxygen stocks supplied by chiefs in-laws run low. So if you remember what was going on about the issue of, I would say PPE, personal protection equipment, plus also medical equipment, this went way further to things like ventilating machines and oxygen and all those kind of things. Oh, it was a dire situation. It was a dire situation. So students are sent home because the health units in school are overwhelmed all over. They are filled to capacity. So, and then when they have to go home, the parents have to deal with this whole thing, and you know, as a parent, you have the responsibility definitely to look after your children and all that. So the responsibility is there, and it's being left on you upon to handle. So the last stanza, overnight, 30 patients pass away. I would assume this is the hospital, probably in the local area. But here, Victor is not giving us the context. So he's just leaving it there for us to imagine. But it was a similar situation all over the place. And the next line is at the National Referral Hospital. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's Mulago. I was born in Mulago. I haven't told you this. Mulago Hospital, I think it was 6A, somewhere up there. But you're talking of the 70s. I told you I'm a child of the 70s. So things must have been different back then. I don't know. I was a child, you know. But all I remember is 1979. I'll come to that. There is a poem around that timeline. So I'll take that opportunity to tell you about 1979. But after a breakdown of the uninspected oxygen supply equipment, mortuaries, oxygen suppliers, hospitals, and funeral companies hike up their prices, taking advantage of the unfolding catastrophe to reap maximum profits. Are we together? So this is a situation that is in the hands of probably now businessmen. Hospitals are hiking prices. Everything is just about, you know. So either way, the impact of COVID was far-reaching. And a lot of people were affected. I was affected. You were affected, weren't you? You lost a loved one, didn't you? I lost hobbies, I lost friends, I lost mates, I lost people I knew. Maybe I hadn't met them, but I knew. And it was a bit scary, isn't it? It scared the living hell out of many people. So that's how things were at the time. That's how things were at the time. When you don't know what's coming, when you don't know what's going on. And most of the time, come on, John. Things are left to those in authority, the government, leaders, councillors, members of parliament, decision makers, and but even they, if they didn't have answers, they were helpless. And pretty much the whole world didn't know what was going on, you know what I mean? So was it something that was beyond control? So, and then we've been left with a lot of memories, things to ponder about and reflect about. So bringing this context in the environment, Victor is basing it, that is Uganda. So how was this handled? Were there institutional frameworks, guidelines, or because pretty much everything was in the hands of the World Health Organization and probably the United Nations, and probably, you know, remember they were at some point relying on donations for the vaccines. Come on, guys. So if the hospitals are overwhelmed, let's go back to the book. Let's go back to the book, guys. Taking advantage of the unfolding catastrophe to reap maximum profits. So did it become a business venture? This sounds like vulture capitalism, you know what I mean? Vulture capitalism. If you go into economics and politics, you know, disaster capitalism, to be specific. So with the world and many things at stake, there was opportunity to make money, which could be a sad situation, but have we lost the moral ethics of human beings? Is it about greed? You know, ask yourself the questions and then the conversation continues. So it's a tough call, and we are glad we can now have the conversation in the book. And so this poem is far-reaching in all ways, because it's not even more than personal. It's deep. It's deep. And the thought process of writing this is filled with anger. What have we come to as society? Does it really teach us lessons? So let's leave it there and give it food for thought. I use that word. The conversation shall continue. So personally, Kegus is a man of thoughts. I think through so many things, and it's not easy, you know. And it means that if you sat back in your chair or wherever you are, you would make sense of so many things, especially when it comes to things that really touch you. And you kind of, what I would say in brief, before I call it a wrap, is that it was a quagmire. Victor summarizes it very well for me. So it isn't something that we can say we've done away with and we are done with it. If you remember the impact of the pandemic, I think it was an epidemic at that time. You know, I didn't really have the details on that, and I can't say the facts. When there was the AIDS epidemic, you know, the world was in fear. But this time around with COVID, I fear it was about shock. The shock of pretty much locking down and not knowing what was coming. The conversation continues. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.